going on, world? It's your boys, the NRW, the Trios Champions. I'm Kuya P, and you know, we here to have some fun. And of course, I'm low on energy, but I'm trying to spike it up right now. My man Webster Style, the man from Sartorial and Geek. How are you, sir?
Good, man. I'm good. Grinding.
Part of our Trios Champions. I need, man. All of a sudden my energy went from like, well, it was already low. I tried to bring it up, but then it went like, a man who probably doesn't have the limp dick problem. He's got the weird booty though. My man, Sean Mongold.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, brothers. It's great to see y'all, man. Love y'all. Miss y'all. Man, I'm trying to get my energy up, but what got my energy up a little bit ago? I guess we'll kick it off with one of the top stories I saw in wrestling for this week. Late breaking, probably. Well, I just caught it like 2 hours ago. There's a story hitting the internets and the wrestling news. My girl Tiffany Stratton.
Woo! Oh, I know this.
She received a fan post video from somebody. She reshared it. Apparently, she didn't listen to the video. I don't know. I'm assuming. I'm making an assumption she didn't listen to the audio. But all she did was reshare and put some laughing emojis. But in it, there's a dubbed audio from something that basically the clip is Jade wrestling. Was it wrestling? Jade wrestling?
Yeah, it was Jade and Bianca wrestling
from one of the recent events, right?
Yeah.
So there's that, because we're priming up for Tiffany versus Jade. So, obviously these stars are going to promote the event. So anyway, she shared this clip of Jade, getting tossed by Bianca or something like that. But there's an audio clip over top of it of some woman saying Black B.
Yeah.
And it quickly got taken down from what I understand. So I don't know how long it was up, but it got taken down.
Ooh.
And I'm curious y'all's feelings. I'm curious the exact time it was up. I could give somebody, a lot of these stars reshare a lot of their fans' stuff. I can give a slight pass, but you should be listening. You're representing a brand. You're representing yourself. If you ain't listening and taking in everything that's coming up with whatever you're resharing from a fan, that would show agreement with what's being said in it. It's not good optically. No. So I feel some kind of way a little bit. I'm hoping, because I am a Tiff fan, that she ain't co-signing on what this woman is saying in the clip. And so the internets are hitting it hard. A lot of people are feeling some kind of way, saying she should make an apology, all that. Gentlemen, how y'all feel about this, man? Tiffany, I know you and I, Eldon, we've been real strong on Tiff. Sean's been feeling some kind of way because he's the white woman whisperer. I'm gonna call you the white woman whisperer. Sean, you know what's going on with these crazy white women in wrestling sometimes.
I called it.
I don't know, bro. I can't co-sign this yet, man.
Bro,
what do you think? What do you got? You want to go ahead, Sean?
I can be the closer for this.
Okay.
Let's just talk.
What do you got, Eldon? How you feel, bro? Is this your first time hearing about it?
It's my first time hearing about it.
So what do you think about that? Sharing a clip from a fan, and it's just Bianca and Jade wrestling, laughing emojis across the top, and the audio is like a dubbed in thing of some woman saying Black B.
For another pretense, and this is the one pretense I will say. Apparently, it was a TikTok trend of the audio, and what people do.
Oh, that changes things a little bit even more.
So
now.
What it is people on TikTok, when something goes viral or something's popping or trending or whatever, people just save the audio. And then they try to put, obviously a video behind it. And the video, I forget, it's from something, but it's just like, black bitch. And like, it's a couple of like cackling, but it's like a 4-5 second audio clip.
Yeah.
And someone put Tiffany Stratton punching Jade, who was on the turnbuckle, because I think it was a tag team match, and knocking her off the apron. Yeah. And it was timed as the hit Jade. So obviously But yeah, that's the pretext behind it, and that's the whole TikTok universe of everything.
Okay.
That gives a little bit more interesting concept where it's kind of, I don't know, this new generation and our generation different. You would have done that shit back in the day with us. I feel some kind of way. Like I feel like you're co-signing that shit.
Yeah, Ed's tough. Only because I'm pretty sure we've all probably retweeted something and then realized, oh, wait a minute, that's not exactly what I thought, or maybe I misread something. Obviously, not to this degree, but then you go back and delete it. He's like, oh no, that wasn't what I thought it was. Especially, you know how we go through social media, we kind of speed through, we glance at it. Oh, I like to click, boom, click, boom, keep going. So in that, I can give some leeway. But much like Kuya P said, you are representing a literally multinational corporation now. Anything you do is going to be scrutinized. You have to be hyper vigilant as to what you put out. If this is what I say to any wrestler, always ask, what would John Cena do? Because if you want to be
WWJC, it literally works. It's Jesus Christ, John Cena. It literally works out.
It does. If you want to be a wrestler, you want to have a non sort of advantageous sort of Twitter. Follow John Cena follows me, for goodness sakes, on Twitter. Don't know why, but hey. But yeah, there's some things to think about. I'm not trying to give people a pass, but she's young. I can see that happening. However, much like Kuya said, it comes off as co-signing.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the origin was, it's how the optics of it. The optics of it with that clip as described, just it's not kosher.
Yeah.
Kosher.
I do give points that it was taken down without nothing. So I'm curious just how long it was up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So here's my thought process on it, right? So, you know, people are just like, oh, she didn't know what it was, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. You, as a WWE wrestler who has millions of followers, you're not going to retweet every single time someone asks.
True.
You are not. Especially of a small clip that WWE probably themselves put out to build up this hype.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, that to me takes off. Like, no, you listen to it. You're an ignorant white woman who probably thought it was funny, and you shared it. Because, yet again, you're an ignorant white woman. You probably have never seen black people until they actually got to the fucking WWE. Let's be honest. Like, I don't know what bumfuck area she's from. I think she's from the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember. And you need to know those things. Like, that's not fucking fun. You know? Like, this is someone that you're going to be working with for a very long time. And like, yeah, you can say, oh, she's a heel. She did that. No. There's lines. There are lines in the sand that you do not cross when you're playing up the heel role. Right? Like, you wouldn't go on a promo and say that shit. You would instantly get fired. Instantly. So I believe that she knew exactly what it was said. She thought it was funny. She shared it and then quickly realized from the backlash, oh shit. Like, let me dial back, let me pull it off. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she literally goes ghost on social media for a while. Yes. She should have just blacked out her profile and gone, because that's bad. This is very bad, in my opinion. And yeah, like I said, I've been saying it since like Black History Month, and they were like doing this angle. I was like, she's enjoying this too much. I'm sorry. Like, like, like you just sense it, man. You
I don't
know,
know if it's
like,
that deep, man.
I think it's that deep.
I hear what you're saying, Sean, but I don't know if it's that deep. I know
Look,
Naya, aka Lena Finney, better check her girl, because if you follow Tiff, like I felt again, I'm a Tiff fan. Like that's her home girl. They do everything. That's her road partner. Like she better check her peoples. WWE and them, like you said, should play some damage control. Cold turkey your socials for a while, but they better fix this and check her if it is that deep rooted. I don't know, but I'm disappointed right now. I'm disappointed.
Lena also had some wild.
Let's not get it twisted.
So I mean,
Lena's some self-hating POC herself.
Yes, and also an anti-vaxxer and all these other things compiled on it. So it's just like that's probably not the best person to be taking advice from.
That is true, but that is a road dog though, and but
it is.
And then I saw her at WrestleMania, and the company she cool with a lot of us POC creatives. She was Tiff was in the room. I didn't get a chance to speak with her, but like I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
I don't know her personally, but I don't know.
I think, like I said, I talk a lot of shit. I boil it down to her just being ignorant of the issues and like the socioeconomic nature and like everything going on with racism and things like that and things that you do not do. I do not think it was malicious. Like I said, I talk a little bit of shit just because, white women be white women sometimes. But I boil it down to she listened to it, probably thought it was funny in ignorance because she didn't know better, posted it, quickly realized, yes, she is young. But with that many followers, yeah, it's hard, man. That's rough, man.
And this Trump country that we're living in, and we got a Kansas City chief kicker that's trying to tell women, man, right now, white people are fucking up right now. They've been fucking up. We all know it. Sorry, Sean. Love you, Sean. But you got her doing that, and this Kansas City chief motherfucker talking bad. Man, I want to slap the shit out that motherfucker.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You ain't know the Kansas City chief news?
No, what happened?
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Eldon. Go ahead. Tell him, Eldon.
The kicker from the Kansas City Chiefs was given a commencement speech at Benedictine University. And I'm paraphrasing, but he essentially told his words pretty much insinuated that all the women that are in their audience that are getting degrees, you're wasting your time. You should be a housewife. He didn't say that like verbatim, but that's pretty much the connotation of what he was saying in the clips that are going out. Mind you, his mom's like a physicist and oncologist or something like that, and his sister's like an OBGYN. I had a conversation about this with a friend of mine earlier today. So I got the backstory in his mom. I'm like, we were just like, did anybody read his speech? Why did you think that was the time and place? Look, you can hold those views. If that's what you feel, you know what? That's you. Live your life the way you want to. If that's how you want to, the type of woman you're looking for, fine. But this is a commencement speech.
Yeah, man.
This is not the audience to give that speech to.
That is that Andrew Tate fucking brainwash mentality, toxic masculinity shit, man. Like, I don't know what it does, but like it hypes dudes up. Even when you have like a strong, like, woman figure in your life, like it just empowers certain men to like view this way, and it's so baffling to me. I deal with it with work too. I literally had someone in my meetings be like, in a group of men being like, we're all alphas here, and I was like, oh my
first of all,
God,
any man that says he's an alpha is not an alpha.
I know, and I was like, why are you using this language at work? Like, what is wrong with you? What podcast are you listening to?
Right. I was like, I had somebody say that about me. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? Because look, we do not assess ourselves those titles. The committee and the people around our lives say what we are, and based on our actions. Anybody says, I'm an alpha. Yep. Steer to the right.
Stay clear. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, because I already know what it is. You're putting on a masquerade, really is what it is.
I'm no longer listening to you, sir.
Yeah, like go back to all those podcasts, all this stuff. But yeah,
Yes.
okay, we get off topic. But with
Yeah.
Tiff, I'll say this. And this is something I've seen just looking at things we see on social media. There is an increasing disconnect with the past of what's going on in this country with certain sects of those that are 25 and under.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, if Tiffany thought it was funny, there's a disconnect. Like, you don't understand history. You don't understand why that's not funny. Like, there is no comprehension of why things are inappropriate anymore, especially when it comes to, I would say, just how we treat people and viewpoints and the history of things, particularly when it comes to, I would say, people of color, but African Americans specifically. And there's a large section of young people who really don't comprehend why things, how we got here and why things are offensive. So they find things, and look, I say this too. It's not just Caucasians, it's Black people too. It's people of color as well, because I've seen a lot of things online, especially recently. That scares me fundamentally, because that really scares me. I'll say, for instance, the whole, say, blackface in general. I really didn't comprehend the significance of that and why that was so offensive until like college, when I delved more into it and I saw more things about it. And that was college in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I know they don't see anything about it nowadays as to why something like that is offensive in many respects in the history of that. And I'd use that as an example, like for a person, because like I didn't really understand why, like what that was, what it was about, why it was expensive until I was in college. So I can imagine that, but we're getting off topic wrestling. So yeah, I hope that it was not malicious, but it was definitely ignorance, and there was a disconnect there as to why that was offensive. Yeah. And I think that's more of a problem than being malicious, in my opinion.
And I also think that boils down to like that younger generation. People don't get checked.
That too. People
do not get checked. You know, it happens in every industry. I think in every generation, like certain, there's a component in your lifestyle or in your socioeconomic, classification where certain of those groups do not get checked. And if it's like a white person who grew up around other white people, of course they're not going to get checked when they say shit like that are like racially charged. Right. Even sometimes when they do have a couple of Black friends, maybe the Black friend is uncomfortable with it or is afraid to speak up. You know what I mean? So therefore they're saying it around that person. So therefore they think it's okay. You know what I mean? Like there's so many variables, but yeah, that's like a whole different conversation.
All right, real quick before we shift, I wanted to ask you this. This was like the actual the finale to my bringing up this story. They're calling for her to be fired and all of that. And there's a lot of this literally just happened all day in like the past like 4 hours. I think. I don't think I think it'd be very egregious. I think it was bad taste, bad choice, and we've all and I think we all agreement here. But some I don't think the ultimate call right now is they're saying she shouldn't wrestle Jade at the King of the Ring. This Queen of the Ring. Suspend her from that. Stop that match. If you're gonna do that, fine, but I don't think fully suspended or anything like that or firing. And again, I don't think it was a smart choice, but I think again, like we said, she's young. It might have been, just all these things. I don't like the optics, but at the same time, I'm not that like fire the chick.
The best punishment is to have Jade bury her ass. I mean, really, firing her is not going to do anything. That's honestly something like that is only going to embolden her.
Yeah.
Embolden certain sects.
Yeah.
And also,
I make her a martyr for the racist viewers.
Exactly. I think when we have these sort of issues in general, there's no medium. It's like, go this way or go that way. It's like, dude, why are you going to look? Regardless of what is, she made a mistake on Twitter. She didn't say anything. She just retweeted something. She may not have known better. She may not have understood why it was offensive. but it's not like she's out there spouting certain words, using racial epithets or homophobic language, or like she's not doing anything that is malicious or evil or racist or like she's not spitting out anything like that from her own words. She retweeted something somebody else, and okay, she didn't get it. She took it down. Over.
I think the longer they draw it out, like she should issue a statement immediately.
Yeah,
apologizing. I agree. And the longer they wait, the worse it looks, in my opinion. Yes. I think what they do next with her is very much on like what happens. You know, is she receptive of it? Does she understand how she messed up? Like, is she going to issue an apology? Does she get squashed? I don't think she should get fired. You know, I do maybe like, you know, reprimand, like probation, maybe after this match with Jade. You know, I don't know what it is. You know, obviously something needs to happen, or otherwise, you know, anyone thinks that they can just do whatever they want and then not get reprimanded for it. You know what I mean? Like whether it's out of ignorance or not, like, you know, you accidentally, you know, steal something that's out of ignorance, but it's still wrong. You know?
Right. And they say we don't need DEI training anymore. Okay, great.
Right.
All right. Well, that's all on Tiff and Jade and all that. I'm just disappointed in the whole situation, guys. So that's my contribution to this week's episode. What else we want to talk about? We want to talk about this right here. Let's go with AEW and then head over to WWE. I didn't catch the signing last night. I want to. It's on my DVR. I just had too many other things going on, but I'm looking forward to it.
The whole segment's on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys checked it out. How you feel about it? We started off before we got recording. You guys were talking about it. I know you felt y'all had some. Let's talk now on it. Yeah.
I was on the show before we started recording. I really don't want Willow to lose. I don't want her to lose. And we've said this before in previous shows. It doesn't make sense for this to be Mercedes' first match, because the expectation and the foregone conclusion that she's going to win. That's kind of what it is. Like you can't have this big marquee star coming to her first match and lose. Like it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, and that's not good for business, in my opinion. But because I really like Willow, I'll say this. You know, we've talked, and when we talk, I dig on AEW. I feel like they're turning things around as far as stories. There's still some nuances that I feel like they need to fix, but they're getting better with the women's division. This particularly, and I told you before, I've been a Willow fan since before AEW. So I love her. I think she's awesome. And I like to see a longer title run. It's just unfortunate that Mercedes is in the picture now and has been in the picture since she pretty much won. So I just don't want Mercedes to win. But it seems like a foregone conclusion, which kind of sucks because it makes Willow feel like a transitional champion, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like I said, like, and when we were having this discussion earlier, you know, it struck me this contract signing was very much reminiscent of like the trope of, you know, the go home show before the pay-per-view, and whoever gets the one up is probably losing, right? Exactly. But this is not the go home show,
right?
You know, that would be next week's Dynamite, you know, the week, you know, Wednesday right before the weekend. So this is what confuses me, you know? So it's just like, I would say, okay, this is definite. Okay, she had to get her, you know, Pat, I don't know if you saw the clips, but anyway, they did the signing. They kind of talked back and forth. They mouthed off. Mercedes said something smart. Willow was just like, oh, well, you know, last time we wrestled, I walked away with the belt. You didn't walk away at all. You know, like something really snarky. And then Mercedes smacked her, and then she popped her with a doctor bomb onto the table, which was great. And usually, you know, you're like, oh, okay, well, she got her one up, she's going to lose. But we have a whole nother week. So if this happens next week, I'd be like, yeah, no, definitely Will is losing. And as we had our conversations earlier, you know, it's just like, you know, do they turn one of them heel? Like, how do they do it? Like, I feel like a clean win would kind of squander the story. I feel like the story could have been stretched. You know, this had so much history behind it. They just like rushed to be the first thing. And it's just like, man, you could have dragged this out a little bit more. So I'm like, how could they? I'm pretty sure if they're smart, they would drag it out more. So whether that be one of them cheating, you know, like I said, Willow's kind of had like these weird heelish nuances with Stokely and with Chris. And Chris Statlander's also had this like weird heelish thing, touching the belt and this, that, and other. Maybe Chris, you know, screws over Willow to help Mercedes win, you know, and that's not a clean win, but then all of a sudden it starts a feud between Willow and Chris, you know, or vice versa, like I was saying, like Britt Baker come back and then screw over Mercedes so that Willow wins. So she loses, but it's not a clean lose, or it's a DQ, but Willow still retains. So Mercedes doesn't technically get a loss, and then that starts a program with Britt and Mercedes, because Britt's been working out. She looks good. She's fucking looking ripped. Like, and you don't need a belt for that segment. You don't. Like, Britt's been champion. She's been like the number one women's wrestler in AEW for the past 5 years, even though she's been gone for like a year. Mercedes is Mercedes. Like, you don't need that segment. And I think that builds to All In. And that is a big, big match for All In. The DMD versus the CEO. And I mean, I've been talking about that for years. The boss versus DMD, like, you know what I mean?
I
like,
want that match eventually. Yeah.
So that's how I think I see that happening. I see, you know, Chris either turning on Willow, you know, to start their segment, and, you know, it's not really a clean win, but, you know, the belt gets over to Mercedes, or Britt comes out, it's a DQ, you know, Willow's upset, Mercedes pissed, but lets Willow keep the belt and do another segment and puts Mercedes' focus on Britt Baker and that whole segment. That's what I think is going to happen. I hope it happens. And I think that builds more stories, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's what we're looking for in AEW currently, is we want the stories.
Yeah, I'm with it. I love you. Y'all know I love Mercedes, man. So that's understood. But yeah, I don't like how this has all set up, and I'm with you both on this. I think it would be actually cool to see Stat go, you know, so something there to happen. Something funky has to happen with this, because it's just not cool. It's not good for Mercedes to lose. You know, I think we all agree on that first match. Yeah, I co-sign all that, man. So,
and there's been like I said, there's been hints, because like when Willow's won certain matches, Chris and Stokely come in. Stokely's super happy, and Chris is kind of like just like clapping a little bit, and then kind of like takes a wide turn to the turnbuckle, and I'm like, oh no, here it comes. Like, she's about to spear. She's wearing all black, you know, it's ready, and then it doesn't come, and I'm just like, they have to be teasing it, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, is it going to be a real thing? Does it happen here? Does it happen later? You know, so there's a bunch of ways they can go.
So I really hope they use those threads.
I hope they do too.
Yeah. All right, that's AEW. What else is going on AEW? There was one thing like a week ago. I don't know if you guys caught this. Another I'm so upset with these male wrestling fans out here too. They're talking about Sky Blue. And
yeah, was that a live show, or what was that? That was a taping, I think.
It was something, but just talking, you know, about her getup and everything. Like,
yeah, man.
Let's not be disrespectful, man. And then so like Chelsea Green came out. A lot of just other women wrestlers supporting each other, which is beautiful. Like, these men are out here with just their underwear on, and these women are fully clothed, but yet still getting fucked, and they're not fully clothed enough to just. I'll smack the shit out of some of y'all out there, man.
Yeah,
a bunch of marks out there.
Yeah, and don't go to fucking live shows and fucking hackle, like, you know, like we, you know, being, you know, burlesque here. You know, we go through like rules of engagement. It's like, you know, you do not scream like "take it off" or anything like that. Like, don't, you know, cheer and hoot and holler and have a good time, but don't be derogatory, man. Like, that's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, if that is your form of entertainment, then go back to like the fucking, you know, the Renaissance times, man. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, like, dude. Stop being ignorant. Like, don't make these people feel uncomfortable. Like, they're here to entertain you. Like, not to fucking arouse you. Like, go to a strip club if you want to be aroused. You know, like Jesus Christ, go spend your money there. You spend so much money for a front row seat at a wrestling show. Go spend money at a strip club.
Yeah, no one told you to spend the money, and that doesn't give you the right to talk shit to these women.
Exactly.
Fuck them, man. I was mad with that shit, bro.
I find that sort of behavior absolutely disgusting, and I, for the life of me, can't comprehend why you would do that there.
Yeah.
We have all talked about Sky Blue. We have all talked about what they accentuate. None of us are going to the front row and heckling her and being vulgar and the derogatory and like, dude, really? Get a life. Like you like that is the epitome of a basement virgin right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the, unfortunately, like that's the I fucking WC, man. Like a lot of those people are like that, you know, and it just sucks that it's like that. And it sucks that certain promotions attract those kinds of people, right? Because, you know, AEW is the alternative to WWE. So, you know, in a way, I feel like the more hardcore wrestling fans go to AEW and they feel like it's more lawless and they can do whatever the fuck they want. You know, whereas WWE, like he would have been yoked up pretty fucking quick. Like Saraya had to like get in this dude's face and call security over here. Like security weren't on it. You know, I'm not trying to bash security or anything. It's not their fault. That's the guy's fault in general.
Right.
But like, there's a certain aspect of like the wrestling community that are on that line of thought. And hey, I have the right to do this. And like, I've spent all this money. I can do whatever the fuck I want. That go to the AEW side because it's newer, you know, it's fresher. It feels, you know, like the Wild West a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, that was completely ignorant. I feel, you know, that she shouldn't have to go for that. It's horrible. And Saraya shouldn't have to step. You know what I mean? Like another woman had to step up, like instead of security. I'm just like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
I need some of my guys out there, some of y'all, the dudes in the locker room, to step up and say something when this shit, because like it's maddening, bro. Maddening.
But yeah, I mean, other AEW stuff. I mean, like
Darby's back
this past week, huh?
Darby's back.
Yeah, Darby's back after being hit by a bus. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was one of the bigger shockers of Wednesday because they're setting up Team AEW versus the Elite. And I think it was Dax and Cash and Brian, right?
Eddie.
Brian Danielson.
Wasn't Eddie involved in that because he got injured and he was placed by?
Yeah, so Eddie was supposed to be in it, and that's, you know, and then Claudio kind of said like he didn't want to be a part of it, but that was also because of Eddie.
Right. So
he took himself out, but now Darby ran out in like a pink coat on Wednesday and like helped them. And I'm like, bro, like you were just injured, you couldn't climb Mount Everest, and you got hit by a bus, and now you're here wrestling.
Right.
You just went through like a pane of glass, got stitches all down your body, broke your ankle, got hit by a bus, broke your nose. I'm just like, he's probably going to do backflips on a dirt bike, you know, the night before his match and like break an elbow or something and still wrestle. The man is Looney Tunes crazy. And just the physics, science, it's, I don't know. He's an anomaly. He's an anomaly. But yeah, the stories are coming through a little bit. You know, you have the Elite, you have Team AEW. It was a little thrown together, a little hodgepodge, you know, to like back up Kenny, you know, people who respect Kenny and things like that. One of the big ones I do enjoy is obviously the Swerve and Christian Cage thing. So I don't know if you saw the clips, Patrick, but I think, I can't remember who he was fighting. Swerve was fighting somebody in the ring, and then Christian and them came out. Nick Wayne came out with, you know, a picture of Swerve's family and smacked them in the head with it. And this is kind of a callback back to when Swerve was like a true heel and infiltrated Nick Wayne's gym and after his father died and smacked the picture frame over his head and left them leaking. So they essentially did the same thing. And smacked him in the head with the frame. And like, I mean, he was leaking. Like, I mean, they had a shot where his fucking blood was just like steady drip, you know, like a quarter turn on a faucet. It was crazy. But yeah, that's the storyline
I do
You
like
know,
the
like,
fact that they got Mobile Embassy off of Swerve and Swerve's on his own now. I
yeah,
do
that
like
was the previous week.
Yeah.
That Brian Cage and Khan and I forget the other one's name, but they all turned on Swerve. So now he's like the true babyface. You know what I mean? Like he has no allies. He has Nana with him, who's his manager, and like he's truly like, you know, the underdog champion now. So he has nobody backing him up, and now he's against the whole patriarchy. So it's going to be. This is good. I like it. You're getting back to your basics of babyface mentality, babyface heel, obviously. And yeah, but that's really good. The Edge,
Yeah,
Malachi shit is really, really good.
It is. It's really good.
They jumped Edge, stole his wedding ring. And yeah, it's just you know, House of Black is full heel, and like Edge is also not Edge, Cope. Sorry, Cope.
Rated R
Wants to be called Cope. Yes, rated R, the rated R superstar. But you know, he's done a couple of great promos. Like he had a great match with Kyle Fletcher last week, and like went to shake his hand, but then like had like a, I don't know, like a freak out. So it's like something's going on in his brain. He's going a little crazy, you know, and that's what Malachi wants. So I'm curious to see if this like turns him heel. You know, because Kyle came out and made the slave. Was it Kyle? No, not Kyle O'Reilly. I keep getting Kyle Fletcher and Kyle O'Reilly fucking mixed up in my head. But yeah, Kyle O'Reilly came out and saved Cope, even though there was like that weird standing against them. But they're both Canadian. You know, I mean, Christian's Canadian too. So I mean, you know, so it's just, you know, Canada's give us great wrestlers. Thank you. But yeah, no, so that's great storytelling. You know, Tony is still doing this whole thing, you know, with Harley. You know, that was, you know, I don't really know what's going on with it. Thunder Rosa's feuding against Deonna Purrazzo. You know, so they're building a lot of women's stuff.
That's good. Women's stories without the title, which is what we've said needs to happen.
Yeah, and they've been building that. But like I said, since Tony has the main title, that's what feels weird. And I know we've talked about like there's going to be like a custody of, you know, Mariah May's love or something between Tony and Mina. And I think they should continue with that. I like that storyline. Like, you know, and yeah, man, like other than that, I mean, not a lot of their stories stick out to me. You know, I don't really know what's going on with Don Callis family. I know not Kyle, but Will Ospreay has a match against Roddy. So that's going to be a good match for the title. And the Callis family is still kind of involved in it. I don't, like, they're kind of, that's kind of getting muddied. I still think that's like a little like not really comprehensive, but we'll see what they do with it. But I'm just like, y'all kind of blew past the moment I cared.
Yeah, it's been too many, I won't say stop and starts, but it's never really gone anywhere.
Yeah, it's just constant tension. And then obviously tension between him and, you know, his Aussie Open brother, Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, I mean, that's really it with AEW. I'm looking forward to Double or Nothing. I think there's going to be an amazing couple matches. Oh, and then the Trent going full, I don't know if we talked about that, but Trent Beretta going full solo heel because Chucky, you know, just came out that he probably won't be able to wrestle again. He has some kind of necrosis of a bone.
A legit injury.
Yeah. Like he has a necrosis of his bone in his ankle when it got shattered and they went to repair it. So they're saying like that's why they had to do like an unsanctioned match in the parking lot was like the only way to kind of like wrap up their story. And it sucked that it had to be so close or so tight. But now hopefully that, you know, this is creating Orange Cassidy, Trent shit going on, which is great. It's just, you know, I wish they were able to tell the story how they wanted without having to force it because of it, rush it because of an injury.
Right, man.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
So, yeah. So whether that, I mean, that's what the reports say. If it's kayfabe or not, I don't know. It seems legit.
I don't think you fuck around a lot about that.
Yeah, but also I feel like if Chucky is retiring, let him come out the ring and, you know, retire. He's been around since day one. Like, let him have his moment of, you know, thank you fans, thank you AEW Universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, but they didn't let him have that. So that's why I'm just like, is it kayfabe? Is he going to come back? You know, like, is he still going to be a part of things? You know, so I'm curious to see what they're doing with that. But I love Trent. I've always liked Trent, like just the look, his intensity, his wrestling. You know, like, I think he makes a phenomenal heel. He's very sadistic. And I hope they put him in positions to where he can continue that and put him in good stories, because he's been around for 5 years. Like, there's opportunities of you know, of past relate. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things you can do with it. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. But yeah, that's AEW for me.
All right, let's head over to WWE real quick. We got, you know, the King of the Ring, NXT. I just caught up on the last 2 episodes. You know, they introduced the women's North American title. We also got Wes Lee back trying to vie for his title from Obafemi. How y'all feeling about, I guess, a little bit of NXT and then King of the Ring?
Okay, I'll let you talk about NXT first. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ivar's gotten injured, so he won't be a part of that.
Yeah.
So that sucked. All in all, look, Lash Legends is in the mix for the North American title, so, you know.
And with her man, she wants her man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the Namdar whole, although I love Metaphor, but they're going to, they have to break up now.
I was surprised they had Tony D'Angelo win the Heritage Cup. That was surprising.
That was surprising.
Yeah. You know what? I will say this. I'm glad they carried it over from NXT UK. And it's a way of having like another mid-card belt without having a mid-card belt.
Yeah.
And I like what they've done with it, where it is important, but it's really almost like a universe of its own when they're fused and whatnot. And I really enjoyed that, because it's like totally divorced from everything else that's going on.
Yeah. And it's a different type of match too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it was him and Charlie Dempsey put on a good show. I mean, well, Charlie got that pedigree, but still, yeah, that's all I really remember about NXT at the moment.
Well, there's a bunch of little different little storylines going on, you know, with oh my God, Trick and Metaphor right now. We got that going on. We have all the women. I liked how they've been setting up the Queen of the Ring. They had like some I don't know if you guys caught it, like conditioning drills and everything that they had with like everyone there to vie to be part of the tournament to go for the belts. You know, so there's stuff going on with the tag titles. I think, you know, NXT is still doing it. I was curious once they moved up, you know, Tiff, Braun, Carmelo, you know, Kiana James, you know, what they were going to do. Fallon Henley has, like, you know, she just went against Kalani. You know, they're developing those two. Those two are going to be stars eventually. I think they've got like the look and the ring set abilities. I like that they also brought my girl Thea Hale back to chase you, by the way. I don't know if we spoke on that. They're trying to do like a darker, you know, Alexa Bliss style thing with her, and that wasn't working. So I'm happy they brought her back to chase you to be that young spunky.
It's a stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't stand Thea, man. I can't. The quirky.
Oh, you don't like Thea Hale?
I can't. It's so goofy.
It's better than the Alexa. They're trying to do another Alexa Bliss, Gigi Dolan, you know.
I would hate that.
Emo girl with her.
But that's just a lot of corn.
And that was just enough of that. There's Gigi, there's JC. Now you need to add Thea into that mix.
No.
They moved away from that.
I want to talk about Sol Rocca's fucking finisher, man. She's
exciting.
Christ. She's so fun to watch.
Yes.
I don't know a lot about her, but like she was
injured for a long time.
Yeah, no, I remember, but she is a highlight reel, man. That is a finisher. I'm sorry, like the Storm Zero shit, like I've talked about with Tony Storm before, like that's not a finisher, man. It's so boring. Look at this shit. Like that is a fucking finisher. And it's just so entertaining to watch her. So it's like, you know, like
protected for the next 10 years.
What's that?
It needs to be protected for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
you don't kick out of that. No.
Absolutely not. That's just so much fun to watch. You know what I mean? And then even with the shit, what's her name? What's the MMA girl? Lola Vice. Like
Right.
she's entertained. Like they have a lot of good talent. And like I said, I've been watching recently, you know, so I don't know the history of everything because I haven't been watching NXT for a long time. But like it's definitely refreshing.
Carmen Petrovic and Natty, they've been kind of like a duo. Lola with Shayna right now.
Yep.
That was like a lot of cool little sub stories going on there.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So what about we King of the Ring though? On the main cards, man. I'm kind of like blasé with what's going on with the King and Queen tournament right now.
I need to ask y'all because this is the other big debate online. Okay. How do you feel about the Ilya and Jey Uso match and Jey going over Ilya? How, as Ilya fans and y'all been NXT for so long, I need to know y'all's feelings about that because there's a lot of discourse. The video on YouTube has more dislikes than likes now, so I need to know.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the match. I don't like because you're building Ilya up. You just moved that brother over, and you're growing Jey into a main event. You know, well, he's main event Jey. So you're turning him into a star. I don't like that they had to face each other and to put one over the other.
What didn't you like about the match specifically? Do you think that it made Ilya look weak, or you just didn't want him to lose? I don't think he looked weak.
I do think it made Ilya look weak, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with Sean. I don't think it made him look weak. I don't think he should have lost. I think
that's why, because he lost.
Yeah, I think that the next person on that list would have been Gunther. I understand the history between Jey and Gunther, but I feel like it would have been a better story if Ilya had won and then it'd been Gunther.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that's would have made a better story. And then Gunther still would have won, but still had that story there. That's
So here's the story. All right. Now I like I said, fairly new to NXT, so I caught like the ass end of Ilya's NXT run, championship run. Mm-hmm. I understand why people are mad, you know, especially with the history, you know, the Vince McMahon era of like calling people up and kind of squandering the call-ups for people who are supposed to be like overpowered. The Finn Balor effect, if you will. The Shinsuke Nakamura effect. Apollo Crews. You know, like the list goes on and on and on, right? So, and Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? So that's neither here nor there. But my thing is this. Look, Jey is so over. I mean, he had all of France jumping. He had all of WrestleMania jumping. To take someone, a babyface like that, and have him lose to essentially another babyface who just got called up would diminish everything for Jey Uso.
I agree. That's why I didn't like that they had to face each other.
But here's what's great though, like because I don't think it made him look weak. I don't. You know what I mean? He didn't get squashed. It was a great match. It was high intensity. You know, it was a lot of, you know, play on the hand because he went for an H-bomb on the table. Jey rolled out and he fucked up his hand. You know what I mean? And like that's a lot of time how baby faces lose. They get injured and, you know, and they weren't at 100%. But I think, and like what you're saying with the Gunther thing, they're saving that.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one when they do.
They're saving that because you can't. Huh?
I saw some rumors online they may be saving it for Bash at Berlin.
They possibly could, but my thing is why force it now when they want to savor it? Because I also think about this: Jey just beat Ilya. If Jey goes on to Gunther and Gunther beats Jey and becomes King of the Ring, he's like, Ilya, I beat Jey. Isn't he the one that beat you? You know what I mean? So like it gives that more of a heel vibe of I already beat this dude who beat you clean. And I'm King of the Ring, the thing that you couldn't even get to the finals of, semifinals of. You know what I mean? So it gives more ammo for Gunther to be the heel that he needs to be against Ilya when they eventually do clash.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that helps the story in my opinion.
So you think Gunther
because
will
yet
beat
again,
Jay? I don't think they're gonna have Gunther beating Jay.
Oh, I absolutely think so. Absolutely.
I don't think they're gonna have Gunther beat. It's gonna be Jay over Gunther, man.
No.
I don't see that. I see it being Gunther. I
see it Gunther all day, baby.
I put a dinner with both of y'all on that.
Okay, when is that match?
I'm feeling they're gonna have, and I saw this rumor as well. Some other people agree. It's gonna be Jay versus Tama Tonga. Because they're trying to spark this whole bloodline thing.
I think that's too soon. I think it's too soon.
You think? I don't know. So. Everything's going to
come on to give. Whenever a king of the ring is elected, it's like a big thing. You know what I mean? They're now King Booker. It's King Wade Barrett. It's Constable Corbin. It's this thing. To give that to Tama Tonga when Solo is running the group, it's too much. Like, you know what I mean? If he was around for a couple of years and he's been like the watchdog for a while and he wanted to come up and like feud with Solo, I could understand that. But he just got here. And to give it to Tama Tonga,
Jay. I think Jay's going to take it all.
Yeah,
but it'll be Jay versus Tama Tonga.
In that scenario, it would definitely be Jay, not Tama Tonga.
I feel, man, when is that match? When is that going to happen?
Because again, and just by your own admission earlier, Jay is hella over right now. Gunther's hella over, but I think Jay out will take this. It's not, this is this other title. It's not like a belt.
Interferences. The bloodline could screw over Jay. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see. Like I'm with it. I'm with the image of like putting Jay all the way over, but also at the same time, it was like, think how long Cody had to fight. That's also why I'm not mad at Ilya, the Ilya thing, because baby faces can't just be on top and stay on top.
Yeah,
they have to lose in order to fucking fight their way back up, and it's that fight. Because like right now, I don't know what they're doing with Cody. I'm a little bored with Cody. And like,
to be honest, real tough.
The fight up was the entertainment, because that is what baby faces do. But when they're at the top, it's lackluster. It's boring. It's, what are you doing? You're a fighting champion or not. Like whether you are or not, it's just like, what is it? Like, you kind of need
the only thing that makes it entertaining is if you are Roman Reigns, the bloodline, and you can link that shit last.
Yeah. You're the heel. Yeah, like
so many
can
great
make that shit work. But yeah, I mean, like who's he fighting? He's fighting Logan Paul in Riyadh. And I'm just like,
I hate that. I hate that match.
Why?
I hate that.
And you're not going to let Logan Paul
probably happen, right? The Saudis probably wanted that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Absolutely.
That's hey, this is what we want.
Yeah, but I don't see Logan winning the belt. And then for Cody to be double champ seems weird. It's already a lackluster kind of championship at this point, run. And it's just like, is there a DQ some sort? You know what I mean? Like, does someone interfere? So none of the titles go anywhere else. They just stay where they are. But then that just makes it kind of a boring pay-per-view. Yeah.
I hate that matchup.
You work yourself into a corner. So yeah, I am very bored by that. So that's why I'm not mad about the Ilya thing. Let him lose. Let him be at rock bottom. Let him fucking get a fire under his ass to be like, I came here and I wanted to impress, and now I failed. I have to work my ass off even harder, and I have to keep going because I'm the Mad Dragon. And just like, let him get hyped. Let him have that. Let him have that build up. Don't just give him everything. And that's why I don't feel like Tama Tonga should be in the finals either. Don't just give that to him off the jump. But they might, and maybe it is just going to be Jay, like you said, and that kind of builds Jay. Give him something. He's king of the ring. They always kind of throw that to people sometimes, when they don't get titles. So it could. We'll
you
see.
know, he was cheated out of all of his other, belt matches. So,
Right.
all right, y'all. I think we covered the gamut here. There is one thing outside of WWE and AEW that I'm slightly interested in because I got to have some drinks with Josh Barnett with Bloodsport over there. He's got a pay-per-view coming up. Well, the next Bloodsport in Japan against Mox. They're promoting that. I'm hoping I can get in touch with them and see if we can't chat with them since I kind of built a connection with those guys during WrestleMania. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are tracking with Bloodsport. I don't know if it's a mix of MMA and wrestling or what, but you have an MMA fighter going against, Mox the wrestler. So I don't know what the rest of the card is, but I know that's coming up soon as well as a pay-per-view event. But what? Any other last words in here, gentlemen? Next week's gonna be our 2-packer episode, I think, with Double or Nothing and the King of the Ring, where we'll make the predictions.
One thing I want to do, because I'm looking at the bracket now, I just want to predict who we think are going to the finals for the King and the Queen of the Ring.
Okay.
All right. So we have Gunther versus Jay coming for the semifinals on Raw. So that's next week. Mm-hmm. So you think Jay's going. And then for SmackDown this week, we have Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. So Tama Tonga would have to be LA Knight. And I don't know if they give that to him unless, of course, bloodline shit happens.
Right. Which is very possible.
It is very possible.
And I don't see Carmelo going over Randy.
I don't see that either. I see Randy going.
Not yet.
And then Randy versus who? Tama Tonga or LA Knight? I feel like LA Knight, there's more story there.
Yeah. This is tough.
It is.
That's a good thing. It makes it unpredictable.
It does. Because then if what you're saying, if Jay beats Gunther, it could be Jay versus Randy Orton or LA Knight as well, instead of Tama Tonga. And I'm sorry, but I think Jay Uso versus fucking LA Knight.
I think that's the more likely
hell of a match.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I don't want to give it to LA Knight.
I do.
I know you're an Eli Drake
fan.
When
are you going to give him his flowers? Is all I'm saying,
bro. I'm like, there was one moment where I'm like,
hey, Knight, yeah.
Look, they got to do something, though, man.
He's such a clone. We talk about how Alexa Bliss is that mold, right? And blonde women wrestlers and all of that. To me, Eli Drake is just everything from the 90s that he stole from Rock and Stone Cold.
But
I'm sorry.
But this is,
I don't see himself in it.
If he was 25, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But he is our age.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for like 20 plus years.
But where's his own originality, though? I can't see what he's bringing to the table other than capitalizing off of two greats.
So I never understood that. Because he does the thing, which is similar to what? Because he's a fast talker like The Rock was. Like, people are just like, oh, he's a fast talker. We have a lot of fast talkers.
Oh, no, I agree. There's a lot that use that, but it's just
a lot of people like you guys. Like, those two were so iconic.
Yeah,
almost you can find semblances in almost everyone else's character and promo style off of those two.
I agree. I just feel it's just so full. It's like you have a diluted version of wrestling. I think all the other wrestlers out there are a diluted version because we all knew and love those guys. But he is that full concentrate juice that you get at the mark, and that's what LA Knight is right now. He's the concentrate version of all that, which isn't bad. I understand why you guys like him, but that's just
so
I cannot help but see everything else though. That's just what he is. I want some. I want Eli Drake. Give me Eli Drake. What was Eli Drake before? I don't. That's just that.
He was still like this in TNA, in Impact. He was like this in Hollywood Championship. He was like this in NWA. He has always been like this.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of history with LA Knight. So we know Jay. We think Jay Uso because like on other terms you have Gunther versus LA Knight, which could be interesting, or Gunther versus Randy Orton, which could also be a slobber knocker. But like, I don't know. This is they can go anyway here. And then
sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, and this the whole LA Knight thing. You're not LA, bitch. We know you're Hagerstown, motherfucker. We know you're fucking Hagerstown. And when they made that switch, because they were doing Hagerstown, we all know off the rip, but then they switched it to the fucking LA nice shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
That's represent Maryland. You know you like them crabs, bitch.
Yeah, you got the key to the fucking FedEx.
Right?
Like, come on, man. Yeah. All right, quickly moving on.
Mad respect to you, LA Knight. If you're watching this, man, you're dope. It was cool seeing you. But I just don't like the presentation right now. It's just killing me. I'm sorry.
I love it. But yeah, so the women's, so the Queen of the Ring. So we have announced for next week Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria, which, man, her match, they're doing great by her. I can tell you that much. And then this SmackDown coming up, we got Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill, and then Tiffy Stratton versus Bianca Belair. I obviously see Jade beating Nia.
Right.
You can't let Jade lose. I'm sorry, especially right now, I see Bianca beating Tiffy. And then
I agree.
And like they're just going to have a friendly competition amongst each other, even though they're tag team. I feel like someone else has done that recently too.
They were alluding to that too in some of the pre stuff during, the segments. Like hey, it's you girl, it's me girl, hey, So I just don't want them to break them up now. Let them have a friendly competition. Keep my girls together right now.
Yeah, like all friendly. Like I don't think there's anything, but like, if Jade wins and then goes on to fight, Io or Lyra, in the finals, I think Jade wins. And I think it's like some kind of like, oh, I'm happy for you, but I'm also like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Like for Bianca, like, so there starts discourse, but it's the slightest thread of discourse, that builds to something later. So I don't know who wins between Io and Lyra. I feel like they're shitting on Damage Control right now. So I could definitely see them giving it to Lyra. But also at the same time, Io was just champion.
Yeah.
I don't know who takes it, but it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, that's one thing you say. Great matches all around.
I do see Jade winning all of it, though.
Yeah, I agree. It makes sense.
That's how they crown her.
Outside of some shenanigans.
Yeah. But that's why I just wanted to go through that before we wrapped it up. So I know we were getting out of here.
No, I appreciate that, bro. So, again, respect to Eli Drake, man. Can just go back to Eli Drake. I'll be happy with that. I don't want. I'm tired of the LA Knight shit. But we can't now. That's in the consensus now with everyone. But you're from Hagerstown, bitch. Stop saying LA.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just so catchy. It's so stupid, but it's so catchy. You're like LA Knight. You're like the crowd gets it. It's like the only thing the crowd can get.
You gotta have your things that get the crowd going, man.
And it's simple. It's not a fucking song. It's not, we're not France. The US is not going to be on that level.
But Seth is ruling. You got to admit, Seth started really getting love because of his track. That helped him out from being the Monday Night Messiah thing.
Yeah.
The freaking
the
song helped. And we all admit that there's certain times where the track really helps a wrestler out.
Oh yeah, yes. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
All the theatrics build who your character is, and whether you are over or not, and like how you interact with your music, how you interact with your gear, how you interact with the crowd, like all that shit matters. It's a fucking science, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, let's get up out of here. Webster style, what you got going on over at Sartorial and Geek Man?
Too damn much. Pretty much all of my content from Fan Expo Philly is out. So pretty much every day is something new. I did an interview with Frenchie, the owner of Jive Moto, that dropped yesterday at the time of this recording. So that's live. My interview with Scarlet Skies comes out next week. So pretty much it's something new pretty much every day, at least for the next 2 weeks.
There you go. And Weird Booties, let's learn about it, Sean. What can you tell us about Weird Booties?
Hey, so yeah, we actually did this, now that I think about it. We did this before the pandemic, before we even had our monthly show. We did an anime-themed burlesque show called Weird Booties, and we wanted to bring it back. our monthly show. And just have a fun time with it. There's a bunch of new anime out now since, just before the pandemic. Wanted to have some fun, just be truly, truly nerdy. It's June 15th. It's going to be a great time. We're also going to Des Moines Con, which is at the end of the month. We're also doing all the after hours content. We're doing voiceovers after dark. Got a couple people from Hell of a Boss and Hasman Hotel going to be joining us on the panel. We get a little raunchy, reading some fan fiction. And then we're doing the Nerdless showcase at Des Moines Con as well. So we got a busy couple of weeks coming up too. It's going to be a little crazy.
Dope, man. So happy for you guys, man.
What's that?
I said y'all need to have me reading some fan fiction.
There you go. Yo, dope stuff, guys. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to hear about it. Everybody support Sean and Webster Style. Those are the homies. Then the Trios Champions with your boy, Kuya P. You're on the NRW. You know what we're doing here. A lot of shit on the channel. A lot more coming along the way. That's why I'm so tired, man. But always a pleasure talking to my homies right now. Next episode will actually be a double episode, I think. We were just chatting it up a second ago. We got to still figure out the logistics because of our time and all of that. But we have two big events happening. Double or Nothing and the King of the Ring that we just talked about. So we'll see if we can drop these two episodes for y'all next week to give you our picks for both of those events, y'all. So stay tuned for Webster Style, Sean Mongold, your boy QP. We are out of here in a 1, 2, 3.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time. If you catch my meaning,
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no, that fits right.
Corey boy, I'm coming hard.